World Wide Web at wingam.com. Broadcasting live from the Wing AM studios in Kettering, Ohio, it's time for The Wrestling Guys. It's Marty Adams with Shawn and Goat Boy. Join us every Wednesday evening at 7 p.m. And now, The Wrestling Guys.
Hello, Dayton, and welcome to the fastest 60 minutes in wrestling. You have Shawn along with Marty Adams, and you're listening to 1410 Wing AM, and we have all the news that is news in the world of professional wrestling.
Yes, we do. How are you?
Hey, you're doing pretty good.
Good.
And, hey, this is an anniversary.
The hotline? Well, no, first of all, my daughter's 3 weeks old today.
Yeah, your daughter's 3 weeks old?
Yes,
That's a birthday, 3-week birthday.
Yes.
This is an anniversary.
The anniversary of 1 week. Well, it's kind of a birthday in a sense, I guess. Of the Wrestling Guys Hotline.
Oh, my God. What a success.
And people think we're not really putting ourselves over here.
No,
even though it sounds like we are.
It's just been fun.
We kind of didn't expect the kind of response it's gotten, I guess is the best way to put it.
And want to thank everybody that's been calling and leaving messages and trying to answer everybody's questions, and you have the historian himself, Shawn Stedham.
I don't know about that, but yeah, it's just been simply phenomenal. I mean, after 20 minutes, because we broke it last week about 7:30.
No, we were 7:50 actually was the number.
Was that what time we broke it off?
7:54.
7:54. Well, no, I'm talking like about 8:30. I checked the messages for the first time, and there were about 25 messages within an hour. And it was just absolutely phenomenal, and it's been building. So first of all, thank you to everybody that's been calling. Thanks for passing it along. And if you want to give us a call, you can call us after the show's over, of course. 285-0991 for the Wrestling Guys Hotline. Option 1 is the daily news update. That gets updated every single day, and also whenever news breaks. And last Thursday I did 3 updates because of the whole Raven situation. And then, of course, Marty on option 2 has the entire calendar of events, and we have a lot of different events coming to Dayton to talk about tonight. And, of course, don't forget, if you want to give us a call here tonight, 457-WING, and a lot to talk about, a lot to go over in the world of wrestling.
It's happening, baby. Let's do it.
First thing, on today's Daily Lariat column, and he doesn't really give a lot of insight to this, but Dave Scheer is reporting that word is Ric Flair's career may indeed be over. And that's it. That's all it says. And
nice reporting, Jeff.
Well, a situation like that, the situation between Ric Flair and Eric Bischoff has been very, very ugly lately. And that's about all he says, and I'm sure details will soon to come. But the Lariat's reporting that looks like Ric Flair is leaning towards permanent retirement.
Shane Douglas, man, ran him out of WCW.
Yeah. Anyway, Rock was in Memphis today helping Jerry Lawler campaign for the mayor's job. That would have been nice to see, wouldn't it?
Hey, that's a good twosome, Lawler and The Rock.
There you go. SmackDown helped UPN to its first victory ever over the WB network.
Time, baby. Now, if I just want to be able to see it, though. I have not been able to see SmackDown
It's a great show. It is a.
How
they do
did
a
you
great
see it?
job. I have my sources, but they have a great show. It's put together very well, and the WWF is making this a must-see program. I mean, you kind of like Heat was kind of like Raw light. SmackDown has just been great. It was great last week. We have the results from this week already, and it looks to be a very fun show.
Don't you even mention it.
I don't do that. I don't do that. You know me better than that.
Somebody taped it for you, didn't they?
Well, I have my sources. That's all I'm going to say.
Here we go.
But it was a very good show. It was a very good show.
All right.
And those of you that didn't hear it on the hotline, ECW's rating a 0.9, and a lot of people said, 0.9, that's horrible. That doubled TNN's rating from that same time slot the previous week.
And you know what? Nothing there, just an overview of ECW, giving you a little flavor for what you're going to be seeing. Plus, from what I remember reading, doubled the Roller Jam.
It doubled Roller Jam. Yeah, Roller Jam's ratings also doubled from what it had normally been.
0.3 to a 0.6 or something of that nature, which, that's why they coupled the two together to help promote that. So
exactly. And this Friday night is going to be very big. It's the first really taped show for TNN, and it's the return of Raven.
And coming from where? The hotbed of ECW, Queens, New York, man.
It's going to be a hot show this Friday night, so make sure you want to check it out. Word is that Eric Bischoff, this comes from Mike Casa, by the way, Eric Bischoff got somebody upset in WCW.
No way.
Hulk Hogan.
Not Eric, no.
Reportedly, Hulk Hogan is upset that he is not the top babyface in the company because he's battling Sting right now.
Yeah, I'd be upset, too.
And he wants to, after the deal with Sting's over, he thinks he wants to work a program with Randy Savage, because we haven't seen that enough.
Okay, next.
Mean Gene's Okerlund contract is up on September the 12th. Right now, no discussions have been in place about extending the contract.
And your speculation is?
I don't know. Mean Gene, even the last time he had his contract negotiations, he kind of did the same thing where he tested the waters to see if there would be any interest from the World Wrestling Federation. And when they said no, he went back to WCW.
Which is where I think he'll end up again.
Probably. Sabu has signed a 3-year deal with ECW, so look for him to be on TNN very soon.
I'll tell you what, just the addition of Raven, you start thinking about Taz, Raven, Sabu, a lot of rumors about Chris Candido and Tammy returning very soon.
Right.
Tommy Dreamer being more active.
He's back in the ring. And now there's talk even that the Public Enemy could return, although I don't think it's really needed. But they have put in their notice to WCW, and they're looking to go back to ECW. They've burnt more bridges.
Oh, my God. I got a post for Public Enemy, and it's not at either one of those 3 sites.
In case you missed the ratings from Raw and Nitro, Raw did a 4.2 with a 10.5 share. Nitro did a 4.0 with a 6.3 share. A lot of people thought that Raw was going to beat Nitro, Nitro would beat Raw this week because Raw would be on from 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. That was not the case. And what's amazing is that Raw didn't lose any viewers in that 12 p.m. to 1 a.m. slot, or 12 a.m. to 1 a.m. slot. They kept a 4.2 rating each hour, and it was nice for the WWF to reward those of us who stayed up late with the tag team title switch.
Absolutely, and let's face it, if there was ever an opportunity for WCW to put together a spectacular show and have a captive audience, this was the Monday night to do it.
And did he do it? No.
Wait a minute. It is now 7:07. Mark your calendars and your time, everybody.
Come on.
Go ahead, WCW Basher.
It was like Monday night, Saturday night.
On the hotline, too.
It was WCW Monday night. Skip the Nitro. It was like watching the Saturday night program. I'd rather watch the WCW Saturday night program. I'd rather watch the syndicated program
us what you really
than the crap they had on Monday night. It was
horrible.
horrible.
You're always bashing.
It sucked. Basically.
Okay, get on with the news, will you?
That's really about it. There's really
anything else you want to share with us?
No, not really.
Venting?
I think I'm done.
It's 7:07.
I will say this. Dudley Boys debuted on SmackDown, and they will be on SmackDown tomorrow night. And we do have a few calls. Yes, we do. Marty, just ask me if we have calls. Marty's like across the way writing down, do we have any calls?
Well, that's because you hog the computer every week.
Here,
I never get to see. No. Here. You and Mark the Jobber have your little conversations. And speaking of Mark the Jobber,
I'm a little bit upset with him.
Yeah, not here last week.
Nope.
Everybody wondering, where was the Jobber? I'll tell you what, the person, what was his name that filled in for the Jobber?
Alan? Alan?
Great job.
Did a super job.
I'll tell you what, I'd love to have Alan back in the studio.
What a producer. Well, and, the listening audience doesn't know what happened. 2 weeks ago, after the show, Jobber came in and said, hey, I'm not going to be here next week. And we said, well, are you going to be in town? He said, yeah, I just taking the day off. I said, well, why don't you come by the studio? Why don't you come on the show, grab a microphone, and we'll let the people hear you. We talk about you all the time. This time we'll bring you in the studio. You can talk to the people. And he goes, oh, yeah, I'd love to do that. I want to come in. I want to do this.
What happens? No Jobber.
No show.
And there he is. And I'll tell you what, the Jobber has asked for a few minutes tonight to explain why he didn't make it.
Nah.
It's up to you if you want to give it to him or not.
We'll think about it.
All right. Let's go to the lines.
Let's go to the first phone call tonight. Let's talk to Randy. Randy, welcome to the Wrestling Guys.
Hey, how you guys doing tonight?
Good. Yourself?
What's up, Randy?
I'm surviving.
Good. That's the important thing.
That's a major, man.
That's about all we can do. That whole KISS Army deal in WCW with Brian Adams being, the demon.
Mm-hmm.
Do they have any other? I know, the other members of the band. Who the other wrestlers are going to be to represent them?
I don't know who the other wrestlers are going to be. The one guy that I heard being tossed around, I can't remember his first name, but Torborg's son, Jeff Torborg's son. The guy, Jeff Torborg used to manage the Mets. And
I got 2 words for you. Who cares?
His
that's
son,
pretty much how I feel.
His son has been in the WCW power plant, and I heard he was going to be a part of this. I also heard that they were going to bring in a couple of other Nitro girls and dress them up as KISS characters.
I might care then.
That might be worth it.
But other than that, I don't know exactly who the other wrestlers are going to be, but this angle, like everything else in WCW right now, is pretty bad.
Yeah, they definitely need some creative management or something like that, because Bischoff just ain't cutting it.
There is talk now that Eric Bischoff has got the idea that he might hire some script writers. Oh, it's about time.
Only one way to go when you're down.
No doubt about it, babe. You can only go up.
Real quick question, Marty. You have any idea when the next wrestler is going to be in your store and who it might be? I know you get asked this every time, but...
That's all right. I can.
16th?
Yeah, the 16th, we're going to definitely have some people in. I talked to Kane, his agent, this week, and it looks as if...
Marty, I want to come and do a signing for you.
Marty. It looks as if it is very close. We're close to signing to have him at our Pickle location on the 16th. We are currently negotiating with The Undertaker to bring him in our Classic Cars location.
Okay.
And we were in negotiation with Road Dogg. That's went to hell, obviously, because the DOGG is no longer here.
Right.
Either, depending on what
he's
you listen to.
recording a CD. That is the official word. That's what we'll say.
I think he's probably on the DRUG.
Hey.
I know.
Well, yeah, I can tell you, I can't get a hold of him, and he's kind of went down under.
Yeah.
But that's who we really wanted to bring in. So the other names, and I'll say them loosely because we're really working on it. And I'm doing this for Mr. Sedum himself, big double S here, Hunter Hearst in China.
Very good.
Oh, Lord. Well, thanks, guys, as always.
All right, buddy.
Thanks a lot, Randy.
Take it easy.
WCW is actually, going back to this whole KISS thing, they're looking at now having a pay-per-view on New Year's Eve that would be co-promoted with KISS.
I've heard that.
And I don't know. That pay-per-view would only be like 11, 12 days after Starrcade. And so it would be very close together. And I can't see anybody giving up New Year's Eve to watch a WCW pay-per-view right now.
Unless something major happens between now and then.
I mean, it is it's the Millennium New Year, and you're going to watch a pay-per-view from WCW.
Just doesn't add up.
Not a great night. Let's go to the Bonger. Bonger's on the line.
Not
Welcome.
the Bonger,
We're
man.
going to the Bonger.
Oh, not the Bonger. Come on, Marty.
Hey, man.
Love me, man.
Good thing we didn't come up with the quiz question yet, or you'd already be in the house.
Wait, we got to get him out of here. So,
man.
What's up, Bong?
Not much. I got a two-part question, but first I want to say to every wrestling fan, if I can offend them, I'll be happy just doing this. WCW stands for wheelchair wrestling, okay? That's all I'm saying, because you guys have already started the wrestling bashing, so let's do it right.
all right. Go on, Bonger. What's the question?
ECW news, man.
ECW news.
All right. One, what will Raven's role be in ECW? And I'll go with the number. I'll let you go ahead and answer that now, and I'll go with the part two here in a second.
Raven's role in ECW, I don't know. I don't know if I can... we gave away the ECW television tapings on the hotline, and I don't really know if I want to give it away here exactly.
What come on. They deserve it.
What happened to this... No, we don't do that here, because some people really don't want to know. But Raven has a major role right now in ECW, and I think you're going to see him work a program with Tommy Dreamer. I think that's the way they're going right now. And eventually, you're going to see him back in world title contention.
Yeah, okay, that's the part two where I was going to get to. I think Taz has held that belt long enough. I don't think he should have even won it to begin with, because Shane is the man. I don't care if he went to We Can't Wrestle or not, man. I think he kind of screwed his career up that way. But I believe that Raven should be the world champion if he goes back to ECW. I remember when he was the champion, he proved he could carry the main event of a pay-per-view.
Well, Taz has to have some heat. There's really no main challenger. And either Rob Van Dam steps into that title type situation.
There you go.
Raven moves over into the television championship situation. But somewhere along the line, they're going to have to develop some better heat for that big title in the ECW.
So now what I think you're going to see personally, I think right now they're going to be pushing this Rob Van Dam and Jerry Lynn feud. And I think Jerry Lynn's eventually going to end up with that TV strap. And then that's when you're going to see RVD go into this world title contention. That is who Paul, I think, really wants to push as being their world champion.
I just want to say BBW rules, man, this Sunday, baby.
Hey.
Thanks a lot, Bong.
Thanks for calling, Bong.
Love Man in Carlisle, real
Not the
quick.
Love Man.
We got the Love Man.
Everybody knows the Love Man.
Yes, they do.
Don't tell me that he just made fun of the WCW again.
Yes, he did.
I thought he'd know better after last week.
Well, Love Man, he didn't know you were listening.
Yeah, I'm sure that if he had known that you were listening,
The one and only Love Man.
He would have chosen his words very carefully.
He might slide. I got a question.
Make it quick.
I thought Sabu was banned from the wrestling in the USA.
That's an angle.
What?
It's a gimmick. It's an angle. They've done that a few times before,
Yeah.
I think, where Sabu is too dangerous for network TV or for the big show or whatever.
Yeah, he's a big lethal guy.
Yeah, it was an angle. He was out of the country on a wrestling tour. Chris Candido on the same tour, and they're back. And we expect to see him here very soon.
And Sabu is lined up to wrestle at that ECW Anarchy Rules pay-per-view. So.
Okay, do you think Sting is going to go back to his old colors like anytime soon, or
No, I think that right now a lot of what has to do with your success and your gimmick is your marketing and how much money you're bringing in with T-shirts and such. And Sting merchandise is still selling very well. So Sting, I think, is going to stay in this crow look for a long, long time. Love Man, we got to go to a break. Thanks for calling.
Okay.
Adios, Love Man.
All right. When we come back to the wrestling guys, we will have the THQ Trivia Question of the Week, plus your phone calls at 457-WING.
And I'll tell you, you've been listening to the fastest 15 minutes in wrestling on WING.
Your World Tag Team Champs. And you're listening to the Wrestling Guy with Marty Adams and Shawn Stidham on 1410 Wing.
Seven-time ECW champions.
Actually, I won't.
They're 7-time. 8? How many? 8. Will they ever return? Don't say no.
I won't never say never.
Raven's back.
The door is open. Let's put it this way. The door is open for them to return at any time they want to.
That's right.
But, right now the WWF came in with a home run offer. And you're going to see the debut of the Dudleys Thursday night on SmackDown, which locally you can watch on the Miami Valley channel.
Thank you for telling me somewhere to watch it.
No problem.
Hey, welcome back to the Wrestling Guys, and got some calls, and we're going to try to answer your questions, and we still got a lot of other news and a lot of local wrestling going on that we're going to talk about today.
I want to remind everybody this Saturday, right? September 4th?
Absolutely. Montgomery County
Fair, Unified Championship Wrestling with two shows. Two shows, 3 o'clock and 8 o'clock, and each show is only $3.
Can't beat it. What a great day of wrestling. Go to the fair, eat about 6 of them sausage dogs. You know you'll see a giant Bobo somewhere in one of them lines.
Well, you want to get there before Bobo does, so there'll be some food left.
No doubt about it. Roger will be hot on his tail.
Big Daddy's going to be there.
Maniac.
Giant Bobo, Maniac.
Bring a picnic basket because you won't get in the food line.
Logan Kane, the Suicide Solution. Everybody from UCW is going to be out there. It's going to be a great afternoon and evening of wrestling. And you can call their hotline at 640-1921.
And be there. Oh, yes. You forgot the main man, the Syndicate Hot member, Willie.
Willie, yeah, he will be there.
I can't believe you forgot him.
I tried.
Willie, it was Shawn who forgot you. I didn't forget you.
Let's go to the phones and talk to Brandon. Brandon, welcome to the Wrestling Guys. Guys. Hey, how are you?
Facilities and their vendors from Massachusetts to California. From every household item and decoration to tools, sports products, and your favorite collectibles, fleamarkets.com has got it all. Use their search engine to find every product you could imagine. See why it's the most sought-after shopping experience on the net. If you're going to shop, get out of the malls and go to the market. fleamarkets.com. If we don't have it, it hasn't been made.
That's www.fleamarkets.com, a paid advertisement by Complete Internet Services, Cincinnati, Ohio.
Dayton's first, Wing AM.
Hi, this is Francine from ECW, and you're listening to The Wrestling Guys with Marty Adams and Shawn Stidham on 1410 Wing.
Welcome back.
Are you okay now?
Yes, I'm over it. I don't even want to talk. We're talking about wrestling.
Good.
And welcome back to Wing 1410.
What's that? Jobber. Thank you. Go ahead, Mark.
Well, welcome back to the Wrestling Guys. 1410 AM. We're taking your calls at if you're outside our area code 937-457-WING. And we've got who we got on there? Ron from Carlisle.
Go to Carlisle. Talk to Ron, home of the Indians. Welcome to the Wrestling Guys.
Well, I have a question. This has been bugging me ever since you guys talked to Terry Taylor back at the Pillman Memorial.
Yeah.
He was talking about how him and Kevin Sullivan had created the Goldberg character.
Mm-hmm.
And I really didn't think that was that big of a deal because it looks to me kind of like all he did was look at some Nikita Koloff tapes, and that's pretty much him, you know what I'm saying? Or is that just me? Maybe I'm out of line, but...
I think everybody's responsible for creating the Goldberg character, meaning Goldberg himself, Terry Taylor, and Kevin Sullivan. Goldberg obviously has all the physical abilities and the physical tools and the look and all of that. And Terry and Kevin came up with the mystique. And, let's face it, Kenny Chaos could have been Goldberg. And I don't mean that any slight to Bill Goldberg, but, Bill was the benefactor of a great push and a great angle.
Yeah, and that's what he was speaking of. What he was saying is that when they were doing that, and Goldberg was on that 160 matches in a row, the longest unbeaten streak in any sport, professional wrestling, any type of sport, the mystique that was surrounding him. I mean, everybody couldn't wait, even though they knew what was going to happen. He was going to spear you and jackhammer you in about 2 minutes. But everybody wanted to see that. When that guy come out and the sparklers got lit and he was snorting smoke, you knew that crowd was alive.
Right.
And they're just saying that they would have handled it a lot differently and put it in a different type of setting than the way it was handled when they left.
And can I ask one more quick question?
Sure.
Yeah.
You was talking earlier about Kevin Sullivan was doing the booking and such when they were at their peak.
Right.
Then why isn't he doing it now? I mean, maybe it's just too simple of a question.
No, that's a very good question.
It's a very good question, and it's also a very simple question, and nobody knows. The story, this was going back a year and a half, 2 years ago. Eric Bischoff pulled Terry Taylor and Kevin Sullivan in his office and said, "We're pulling you off of Nitro." And there was no rhyme or reason. At the time, it was thought that Hulk Hogan wanted a little more booking power and wanted to control the booking of the show, and that could have been the case. Soon after that, Terry Taylor left and went to the World Wrestling Federation, where he's been doing a very good job at bringing in young talent and booking storylines and things of that sort. I don't know. WCW right now, too many Chiefs, not enough Indians.
Do you think it's possible that the wrestlers themselves have too much control in WCW? I mean, like, Hogan wants to do his, everybody wants to do their own thing. So it's kind of hard to write a storyline that goes down the middle because everybody wants to win, you know what I'm saying? Yeah,
I mean, I think that's part of the problem, and I think there's a lot of politics backstage, obviously, and a lot of people feel that, let's go back to the whole, the reason really Chris Jericho is now in the World Wrestling Federation. There was a storyline built between Goldberg and Chris Jericho, and I think a lot of you remember it, where Jericho was basically getting under Goldberg's skin, and Hulk Hogan was one of the guys named, went to Goldberg and went to the management and said, Goldberg is too big of a guy to wrestle against Jericho, and they killed that angle.
And you know what? A lot of what you're saying is this too simple a question. You got to do the same thing that we're doing and thousands and millions of other wrestling fans across the country are doing. It's the same thing. Some of this seems so elementary when we're sitting here talking, but I think what happened, they became so successful so quickly. The NWO scheme went so well.
Right.
The division, and that they felt that they could ride the crest of that, and they didn't see what they were doing, which was really knocking it apart slowly but surely, to the point that now they don't know how to begin to build it back up.
Right, and there's all these people backstage that want their push and want their time, and, I don't think Lex Luger is really interesting right now to anybody. I mean, I'm sorry, I don't think that Scott Hall, if he was to come back, would really be interesting to anybody. Randy Savage, who the hell cares? And one thing else I want to bring up, this Hummer, the Hummer was black last time, now it's white. I don't know. There's too many things that you could pick on with WCW.
We're starting our own WCW 2 words. Who cares?
Let me say one quick thing.
Yeah.
Last week you was talking about certain people walking out when Bischoff gave them the option.
Yeah.
Is there any update on that?
The update on that, well, Raven, of course, took Eric up on his offer. He was the only one that actually got up and walked out.
Oh, okay.
The others that requested their release were the Public Enemy. Now, and they're probably going to be gone, too. Conan, Rey Mysterio Jr., and Billy Kidman also requested their release. They were told that they could get them, however, they could not go to the World Wrestling Federation for the duration of their WCW contract. Now, I know in Kidman's case, he's just signed a 3-year deal, so the idea of him not being able to go to the World Wrestling Federation for at least 3 years, kept him from going anywhere. Rey Mysterio Jr. said he would stay as long as Conan stayed, but there's talk still that Conan's still going to get his release and go back to Mexico.
And basically, from what we've heard, too, is Conan went in and did the big kiss up.
That's probably
afterwards. I mean, Ray, we heard a little bit about kind of follow the leader type thing. I think Billy, based only because he does have such a new contract, it was not a smart thing to do. Conan's been in hot water for how many months now?
3-4 months, going back to the USA Today story.
Absolutely. So it probably would have been a good move, but nobody wants him. ECW doesn't want him, and there's nowhere else to go.
Okay, thanks, guys.
Thanks for calling.
Talk to Amy. Welcome to the Wrestling Guy.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Hey, Amy.
I was wondering whatever happened to Vader.
Vader's in Japan.
And doing very well.
Yes, he is. There was talk of ECW bringing in Vader to take on Taz at Heatwave. Back in Dayton. And Vader basically said, I'll come over, but I can't job because I'm too big over here right now.
He's wrestling for All Japan Pro Wrestling, doing a great job. One of the biggest heels in the business over there, and they love to hate him.
Yes, they do. All right. Thanks, Amy.
Thank you for calling.
You want to bring him in?
Let's do it.
Jobber. Where are you?
Where is the Jobber line?
I'm right here.
Okay. Now, let's explain this. The Jobber last week was supposed to be here to make his Wrestling Guys video or verbal debut. Video on the radio show. And anyway, he no-showed last week, so he wants to come on these airwaves.
And everybody should know the Jobber is our producer. The Jobber is the man behind the bikes, takes all our calls. We always tell you, show respect to the Jobber. The Jobber is a little funny. We're not going to go into all that. He's a little out of the ordinary. And that's why we wanted to give him this opportunity to come in and be a part of the team.
Exactly.
And he doesn't show. He's a no-show.
I was a little bit upset by that. And I come in the studio tonight, I see him on the internet typing in all capital letters. I don't know what that was all about.
Well, I know what you said it was about.
Well, yeah, all capital. Anyway, Jobber, why were you not here last week?
Well, I told you, man, it was the Nitro girls. They just won't leave me alone.
Jobber has his own Nitro girls.
Huh? I do.
How long did it take to blow her up?
Oh, that was good.
This one's not a blow-up, man. It's a real thing.
Okay.
I don't know what you use, but...
Hey, Jobber has all the ladies in the area. Let's face it. The Jobber has his own love line.
Yes, he does.
And he does a lot of different things.
1-900-JOBBER.
Yes, it comes on and does us a favor.
He was on the stage at Joker's this past Monday night for their mail review kind of show. I heard that, too. I mean, Jobber is a love machine.
I can't.
He's a chick magnet.
Absolutely. Right. So when you call in, show respect for the Jobber. If you have any questions on how to take care of the ladies, ask the Jobber before you come on the Wrestling Guys.
There you go.
I don't know if I can pass that along. It's kind of a natural thing, but I'll do my best to help our listeners out.
Yeah, do what you can, Jobber.
Oh yeah.
All right.
I always do that.
Okay, turn off your mic now.
Okay.
Thank you.
Jobber, be gone. Hey. I'll tell you what, you got to love him. We got a great producer, Jobber.
Yes,
on top of things, does a great job for us. And he's just hot with the ladies, and sometimes he loses his perspective on where he needs to be at times and his focus.
He's a young man. We need to corral him back and kind of put blinders on him now and then, say, this is what you need to do right now. Let's recap a couple things again.
Go ahead. And then you're going to do some shout-outs.
We're going to do some shout-outs. Don't forget, number one, Unified Championship Wrestling. This Saturday at the Montgomery County Fairgrounds, 3 p.m., 8 p.m., $3 a ticket, and you can get all the information about the card,
everything. Two great cards. Remember, bring a picnic basket because you will never get in line for any hot dogs or Italian sausages with those boys in front of you.
640-1921, the UCW hotline.
I may be in front of them, so come on out. Wrestling Guys are going to try to be there. Should be a great afternoon of wrestling in the Miami Valley.
Also, looks like Heartland Wrestling Association will make their Dayton debut Saturday night, September the 18th at the Sportstown Athletic Center in Centerville/Springboro, right there on the border. But we'll have all the information there along with everything else on the Wrestling Guys hotline. And, of course, that number is 285-0991.
Write it down. Pass it on to your friends. It's the hottest thing going, the Wrestling Guys hotline.
When you want to hear Marty and myself every single day, you can call that hotline.
And you can't sleep because you need to hear those soothing voices.
And hear our soothing tones.
Yes.
There you go.
937-285-0991.
All the updates, all the news as it happens.
And do some shout-outs, man, because we've got a number of people. Dave Diamond, where are you? The guy called us. He's from Outlaw Championship Wrestling. And then we lose him. We don't hear any more from him.
But Dave Diamond, Outlaw Championship Wrestling, they're going to be starting some stuff up. They've got a hotline. We'll get that number and everything back to you.
Claudia Webb, man.
Claudia Webb.
She wants
China.
Yes, she does, and we're going to get China for her. Bonger, everybody knows the Love Man.
The Love Man. Also want to thank Jeremy and Chain Dog for making Marty and I honorary champions, although I don't know of
Yeah,
what.
give us a call. What are we champions of? And I'm going to tell you what, I got to say this right now. STB, simply the best. Look, man, 10 minutes of music and 5 minutes of verbalization. You got to start the verbal early. We're not going to hold on to listen to your video. So, STB, give us a call. Sue.
Just thanks, Sue, for calling Doug, Dana Wade, everybody. Thanks for calling the Wrestling Guys hotline. Again, call us anytime you want to at 285-0991. And our time's up. We got to go.
You've been listening to the fastest 60 minutes of wrestling. The Wrestling Guys, Marty Adams and Shawn Stidham on 1410 Wing AM.
Later.
Night Dayton.
Another ridge about a quarter-mile away. More flames that just leaped up.
Some of these independent shows coming up.
You got it, Ron.
All right, man.
It's Big Daddy Rod Cox, former UCW heavyweight champion, stripped of his championship and taken away by Slick Willie Up, the guy you talked about, Ben. I can't wait to hear from him. Why? We'll see.
Willie talks
No, I don't want to
a
hear
lot of people.
The ref from Riverside. Hey, let's take a call. Ref, are you here?
Yeah, I'm here.
How you doing, buddy?
I'm pretty good. How are you guys doing?
Good.
I'd like to ask Mr. Stidham. I like to call him Mr. I've never have met the man, but to me, he's Mr. Stidham.
Wow.
I like this guy.
Well, anyways, in WCW, the United States Heavyweight title, was it the same title that was recognized back in the 60s?
As the U.S. title?
Yeah.
Now you get into the whole thing with when the NWA, or when WCW took over really Jim Crockett's promotion, because your wrestling purists, traditionalists say that, WCW claims they have like a 70, 80-year history with the title, and that the NWA is actually a separate organization still. And, yeah, essentially, yes, it's the same United States title. I consider WCW the old NWA.
Yeah, because there have been a lot of great champions held that title. Greg Valentine, Killer Tim Brooks, Pam Carroll Purple, the original Sheik, Bobo Brazil.
Oh, you can keep going. And even today, guys like Ric Flair, Wahoo McDaniel, Magnum TA, Dusty Rhodes, Tully Blanchard. It's a legendary list of guys that held that United States title.
Sounds like that pay-per-view next week, October 10th, Legends.
Yeah, really.
Well, there's a lot of them guys I think has passed away by now. Especially, I think Bobo was the last one to pass away that I've heard of.
Yeah, well, I think Rick Rude held the title, so you got to think about him.
Rick Rude. Yeah, Rick Rude did, yeah.
Rick Rude held that belt. I don't think Brian did. I don't think Louis Piccoli did. I know Louis Piccoli didn't. I don't think Brian Pillman ever wore that belt.
No.
So, yeah, I think probably the last guy that passed away that actually held that belt was, unfortunately, Rick Rude.
Yeah. And there was another thing. See, I've got about all of the Clash of Champions taped, and there's been some guys on there like the Motor City Madman. Who was that guy?
The Motor City Madman. I'll have to look that up.
Ted Nugent.
No, not him. Not him.
Okay.
But,
and another thing, this was a trivia. I left you on the phone the other day, and you never did answer it for me.
I did answer it.
Okay, I must have missed
Is
that.
this about Billy Jack Haynes?
No.
Oh, not that?
Well, this was about Van Hammer.
I'm looking that one up. I don't know off the top of my head about, and for those of you who don't know.
Well, it was Terry Taylor.
Oh, it was?
Yeah, that when it was called the Computerized Man.
Backing up here a little bit, Ref left the question, who was Van Hammer's first opponent?
In WCW.
In WCW, and this goes back, 6 years?
Yeah, I think it's 6 years.
And I was looking it up, and I hadn't got the chance to answer it yet on the hotline.
Oh.
But, and actually, to correct you, it was Terrence Taylor at the time.
Terrence Taylor, yeah.
Thank you very much.
Ooh, boy, I'll tell you what, two trivia experts going at it tonight.
With Miss Alexandria York.
Show respect.
Now, who is Alexandria York?
Call him Mr. Ref. He called you Mr. Stedham. Call him Mr. Ref.
Yes, sir, Mr. Ref. And who is Alexandria York, for those who don't know?
That was, now you made me forget.
Terry Reynolds.
Terry Reynolds.
Terry Reynolds. There you go.
And there was some other ones on there. Thomas Rich was one of them.
The York Foundation with Richard Morton and Thomas Rich.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, we may have to bring him on once in a while.
We may do that.
We may do that with the Ref.
See, the reason I know so much, I'm an old man.
Hey, Ref, thanks for calling, and we got to get to a couple things real quick, okay?
Thanks a whole lot, guys.
All right.
Now heard round the world on the World Wide Web at wingam.com. Broadcasting live from the Wing AM studios in Kettering, Ohio, it's time for The Wrestling Guys. It's Marty Adams with Shawn Stidham and Goat Boy. Join us every Wednesday evening at 7 p.m. And now, The Wrestling Guys.
Hello, Dayton, and welcome to the fastest 60 minutes in wrestling with Shawn Stidham and Marty Adams. And we're back. You got The Wrestling Guys on 1410 Wing AM. And we're going to take your calls because we got a lot of news. We got a lot to talk about.
Yes,
the
we do.
hotline's been burning up this week.
Yes, it has.
And WWF coming to town, and we're on the countdown stage.
October 16th, they're going to be at the Nutter Center, 5 p.m. show. And next Saturday, the Heartland Wrestling Association making their Dayton debut down at the Sportstown Athletic Center in Centerville.
And they've asked for it. A lot of people have called, and they're going to get it. Last Saturday at the Montgomery County Fairgrounds, I hear an excellent show. Flaming table match. I mean, sounds like the UCW just went and pulled out everything to put on a fantastic show for the Dayton area fans.
And if you missed it, Tom Archdeacon wrote an excellent article in Sunday's edition of the Dayton Daily News about UCW, and particularly Goth Brimstone, and a lot of the guys, and kind of painted them in a way where you don't normally know what goes on behind the scenes with these guys, and kind of brought some of that out. And nice job there by Tom Archdeacon.
Absolutely, kind of took it home with Goth's son wanting to take him to school for. What does your dad do for a living?
Show and tell day.
Well, my dad's a monster wrestler.
I wonder
really neat.
I wonder if his son ever takes a mask to school and wears it just trying to scare kids, you know.
I don't know. His kids are pretty neat, man. He really does. He's got great kids, and just a neat article, and really promoting wrestling in the Miami Valley, which is one of the hotbeds in the country.
And that's why we're here.
Absolutely.
And if you want to give us a call tonight, it is 457-WING. And one thing, first of all, at the top of the show, and we still haven't got this opening cut. And I don't know if it's my fault, your fault. We'll blame Martell. But anyway, but Goat Boy is still mentioned on the opening. Of course, we all know Goat Boy is in actuality Scott Sharp in real life.
He's here.
And he's over on the other side down at Z93, and there's something's going on down here. I don't know what
they're having. If you hear blues guitar in the background, they're having a jam session here at the Z. So we don't know who it is. He's not that good. So you're better off listening to us.
However, Scott would like me to tell everybody on this show that if you would like to hear him on these very airwaves, you can do so now every Thursday night at 6 o'clock with the Tailgate Party.
The Tailgate Party? You
can talk the NFL, anything you want to. It's Scott, Tony Peters, and Mike Campana. Whoa. Every Thursday night at 6 o'clock right here on 1410 WING. So if you want to talk some sports, you can do so tomorrow.
Hey, I think that's a great idea.
Wonderful idea.
Why not have sports talk on a sports station?
It makes sense, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Well, do you want to do some news?
Yeah, let's go to some news.
Let's go to some news. Ratings came out today for this past Monday. The ratings for the week saw Raw draw a 4.4 rating with an 11 share. Nitro, a 4.1 rating off of a 6.5 share. And if you're wondering what the U.S. Open did over on USA, a 1.6.
Okay. What did they do?
U.S. Open, a 1 point. You didn't watch that?
I
thought you may have tuned into U.S. Open.
I did, for fleeting seconds.
Actually, the rating U.S. Open did this week was better than what they did last week. So, a lot of people, what do you think about the $1 million WCW's giving away?
Well, I don't know. They'll do anything to get people to tune in. I mean, I'd like to see them do it with wrestling and storylines and, a more positive impact. But, hey, if I would have win the $1 million,
you're not going to complain.
Positive. No, I mean, let's face it. It's a gimmick and a good one for the person that wins it.
Yes, it is. Steve Austin, we're not going to ruin any of the tapings from SmackDown last night. I will tell you Steve Austin is back. So you're going to see him Thursday night on SmackDown. Also, the return of Moolah. Moolah on SmackDown.
Man, they're bringing them all back.
Yes, they are. The main event for the September 26th Unforgiven pay-per-view right now is rumored to be a 6-way match for the World Wrestling Federation title. Steve Austin will be a special guest referee.
Yes, he can't win.
And Triple H will be defending the title against The Undertaker, The Big Show, Mankind, The Rock, and Kane.
The Big Red Machine, man. It's about time. It's his turn in the sunshine.
The rules for the match will be 2 men in the ring with the 4 others stationed in the corners that anyone can be tagged in at any time. The undercard right now looks like it will have Ken Shamrock against Chris Jericho, the Dudley Boys versus the Acolytes, and Jeff Jarrett against China for the WWF Intercontinental title.
Wow, that's a tough one.
That's going to be not a bad show. Although, you got to wonder, with them taking, 6 or 7 of their top 10 guys and putting them in one match, that's going to maybe hurt things a little bit.
Affects the undercard quite a bit. I mean, everything's tied into that one match, it seems.
Something we talked about on the hotline is the future of UPN, which, of course, is broadcasting SmackDown. And in case you missed it on the hotline and you haven't been paying attention in the news, CBS and Viacom are working on a $34 billion merger, and FCC rules state that you cannot own more than one over-the-air free television station. And right now, they sent out a press release today that UPN and that CBS and Viacom are going to petition the FCC about trying to give them a exception in this
type
case.
Of an excursion so that they can keep it going in the direction it is.
But the rumor right now is if the FCC does not do that, there's a real strong possibility that UPN will fold. What will that do to SmackDown? Will somebody else pick it up?
I'm sure somebody will be in the wings, or back to the house shows again, because there aren't many house shows. And
they're actually making SmackDown probably the WWF's #1 show right now.
Oh, it's been
so hot. I mean, has Chris Jericho wrestled on Raw yet? I don't think so.
I don't think
But he's wrestled each week of SmackDown.
Talked to everybody on Raw. Had a lot of conversations.
And are you ready for this? We talked about it a week or two ago, but now the plans are official. The Heroes of Wrestling pay-per-view, October 10th. Have you heard these names?
Go ahead. We've heard some of them. Give them all to
Gordon Soley, your guy.
Yes.
Some of the other names included Jimmy Snuka, King Kong Bundy, Jim the Anvil Neidhart, Jake the Snake Roberts, Cowboy Bob Orton, the Iron Sheik, Greg the Hammer Valentine, Sweet Stan Lane, Tully Blanchard, Marty Jannetty, Nikolai Volkov, the Bushwhackers, Sherry Martel, the Samoans, and George the Animal Steele.
Man, I'll tell you what, for you old-time wrestling fans, there's a don't miss this one.
The pay-per-view is going to be held at the Bay St. Louis, Mississippi casino called Casino Magic. And I really don't have any other information about what outlets it's going to be available to watch on, but who knows? It's going to be pretty cool, though.
We've got to go. Hey, you're only 5.5 hours away.
But that's going to be a good pay-per-view. You know, everybody calls the hotline now. We kind of joke about how we have this Where Are They Now segment at the end of every news update. And if you want to see where a lot of these guys you've asked about are, a lot of them's going to be right here on the pay-per-view.
They'll be in St. Louis.
They're going to be in St. Louis at the Heroes of Wrestling. I thought you would be more excited about Gordon Soley.
I love Gordon Soley. I'll tell you
mentioned
what,
that to me more than once. I mentioned Gordon Soley, and you go, okay.
Yeah, well, right now, there's so much else going on. I'm overtaken by all this. I'm still reading it. You wouldn't share this with me before the show.
I would. I thought that we would get this dramatic reaction of excitement from you, and you just kind of surprised me.
Okay, well, get on with the news.
That's really about it.
Oh, there's got to be more news than that because it's 9 minutes after 7. You haven't bashed the WCW? Come on, I know you got something smart to say.
Why? It sucked. How about that?
Oh, it was once again for the second week in a row with the stage open and an opportunity to grab a market share.
And they blew it.
What
I couldn't get over is I'm sitting there watching it, and they talked about at the beginning of the show the 12-man battle royal. And I'm sitting there watching the battle royal, and I start counting the guys, and there's 11. And I'm like, wait a minute, where's the 12th guy? And they keep talking it's a 12-man battle royal, but there was only 11 men. I don't know. Maybe we need to send them a calculator.
Hey, we should. Well, no, you should send something in on their email for that. You caught it. I mean, a lot of people wouldn't have caught that.
A couple things we mentioned on the hotline, on the daily news update that I'll mention here in case you missed it. A lot of people upset over the ending of the Chris Benoit-Dean Malenko match from Monday night.
No doubt about it.
Which was an absolute travesty. In case you missed it, Sid came in at the end, interfered, and that match was going to be for the #1 contendership, and the winner gets a shot at the title next Monday on Nitro, and so the match was kind of thrown out as a no contest. So many people emailed and called World Championship Wrestling that they have announced that next Monday, Chris Benoit will get the title shot against the winner of the Sting-Hogan match this Sunday night on Raw.
And at least they're listening. Everybody, to the person, said the same thing. What in the hell is going on?
It was bad. The whole thing, the whole show.
I mean, one of the best matches of the night, and then it's done. Sid comes in, does his Millennium Power Slam. And
The one thing I will say, though, however, is there was talk on the internet that Chris Benoit and Dean Malenko both refused the job in that match, and that's why it was ended. That is why it ended the way it did. That's the BS rumor of the week. Was not true.
You sure?
I'm positive.
Have you talked to him?
Yes.
Okay, just checking.
That one you can throw out the window.
All right. Well, I'm excited about Gordon Sully.
It's about time. You have this like delayed reaction thing.
No, you know what it is? I'm thinking about how can I be there.
You know what I'm upset about right now?
What? Go ahead and share.
Our boy Dana. Dana calls on the hotline.
Yeah. Tell him where he's from. Go ahead.
Dana's from Papa John's.
Papa John's. Which one?
Papa John's. Papa John's on, I think, Dorothy Lane.
Okay, right around
And I
here.
love Papa John's. And he's heard us talk on these very airwaves about how the computer guys have their pizza, and they kind of leave us this cold Hawaiian leftover crap. Okay?
Yeah,
Which is not from Papa John's. I would never refer to a Papa John's pizza as crap.
Okay.
Not that I refer to a lot of pizza as crap.
All right. Okay.
But Dana said pizza would be here tonight. It's not here yet. Now, maybe there's something wrong.
Well, they could have been in a big rush.
And you know
everybody's getting their pizza so they can listen to the wrestling guys.
God bless them. It's free. I'm not complaining. I'm really not. I hope the pizza's on the
You're
way.
not complaining. You've been complaining since I got
I'm
here.
hungry.
Dana, if you're listening, do something. Send him a pizza roll, pizza bun, or something. But he's crying, and we hate to see a wrestling guy.
You came in here going...
I had dinner. My wife had dinner ready. She did.
Oh, God bless you.
Anybody, somebody's got to have it.
Okay. 457-WING is the phone number if you want to give us a call tonight. Also, we want to give out a plug, of course, for our Wrestling Guys hotline. And, again, the tremendous response. We want to thank everybody out there. The number, if you want to call it to get the daily news update, the calendar of events, and so much more, 285-0991 is the number. So we want everybody to call the Wrestling Guys because you need us every day, right?
Hey, hysterical, man. I'll tell you what, some of the messages have been absolutely unbelievable.
We got to find a way to play back some of these on the air.
We're gonna start trying to do that. We're going to try to tape a few of the best ones each week, play them back on the air, let you hear what we're hearing, so you can enjoy yourselves, too. So it's pretty crazy.
And we're going to go to our first caller of the night, who could be the most hated man on our hotline.
No way.
The Love Man.
The Love Man got bashed this week.
Because the Love Man comes out, and the Love Man kind of defends WCW, which I totally respect. Everybody has their opinion, and they're entitled to it. But everybody takes it personal, and they're out there bashing the Love Man, and Love Man's not a bad guy.
They're saying the Love Man doesn't know anything. They're telling him everything to say.
Exactly.
Love Man, is that true love?
Well, I mean, I try to stand up for what I believe in, but if everybody wants to go and bash them, that's their problem, because they'll have me to deal with in the long run.
Oh!
Ease up, Love Man. Let's not get vicious here.
So what's going on?
I got a question.
Yeah.
What is the real reason why they don't have War Games on WCW Fall Brawl?
Good question. They were going to possibly disclose the reason why this past Monday on Nitro, and they did not. So your guess is as good as mine. My guess is that it's kind of like what WWF has with this Unforgiven pay-per-view. When you have a War Games match, you need 8 to 10 guys in that ring at once, and that kind of kills your undercard. And not only that, I don't know, I think that maybe if Ric Flair was still around, you could have seen like a Revolution versus Four Horsemen kind of War Games. But there's not really two stables of 4 or 5 guys going at each other right now.
Well, see, Eric Bischoff's running his mouth, so he's losing a lot of his talent, you know.
Well, they released a lot of their talent, too. So.
Well, yeah. I mean, but and another question. I heard, I think you reported on it that Dustin Reynolds may be coming to WCW. Is he going to be there anytime soon?
The thing with Dustin right now is he was injured while in the World Wrestling Federation, and WCW really doesn't want to pay him to sit on the shelf for an injury he received by working for the other company. So once Dustin gets his body healed, he will be signing a contract with WCW. He traveled out to Sturgis with the guys for the Road Wild pay-per-view, rode on the motorcycles all the way out there. So he's in good with those guys. Of course, his father's out there, and that's a big reason why he'll be going back to that company.
Yeah. Well, okay. Everybody knows who the Love Man is, so...
Yes, they do.
All right, Love.
Okay.
Thanks for calling, man.
We're going to go to a break. When we come back, we'll talk to Randy, and we've got lines open for you at 457-WING.
Shawn Stidham on 1410 Wing.
Well, welcome back to the Wrestling Guys. You got Shawn Stidham and Marty Adams, and we're taking calls. All you have to do is dial 457-WING. If you're outside of the listening area, put a 937 in front of it. And let's go to Randy. We got Randy on the line.
Randy's on the line. Welcome to the Wrestling Guys.
Hey, guys. How you doing?
All right, Randy.
I want to ask you a question about the WWF event coming to town. Are they going to be doing any taping whatsoever there for that show?
You know, we were trying to get that information before we came on because the Z side, in case you haven't heard, is doing a program at Pulsations where they're picking out the girls to escort the Godfather to the ring. And it's going to be a kind of a thing that starts actually this week.
Right.
Plays right up until that time, and then, you know, you kind of drop out of the running. So you have it between now and, I guess, a week or a week and a half to become involved in that. So if you want to be one of the Godfather's girls, Randy,
No.
go to
by the way, not to interrupt you, Randy, but Mark the Jobber just wrote in that he will be at Pulsations. I think he's going to try out to be one of the girls.
But the one thing that they announced during theirs is that there was going to be a taping. So we're going to make a call in the morning to WWF to find out, and we'll have it on the hotline.
Oh, that'd be great. That's one thing I really want to see is the Titantron. And I want to hear the most electrifying words in sports entertainment today.
I'll tell you what, we do too, and we're working on trying to actually bring The Rock back for an appearance.
Oh, great.
And we were having a hard time getting a hold of him currently, but I'll tell you what, everybody liked it last time, so we're looking to bring The Rock and several others back for personal appearances that day.
That's great. Do you have any idea of how the tickets have sold so far?
I've heard pretty good, and
Yeah.
I mean, we'll talk to their publicist group tomorrow. That's who we deal with, so we'll have a pretty good idea. And matter of fact, we'll probably see if we can announce, you know, they won't give us the exact numbers, but I'm sure they're going good. They always do there.
One thing I want to find out, too, last time I think they were here for a house show in Dayton, they cut the arena in half. And I wonder now if they're going to do that again or if they're going to open up the entire Nutter Center for the show. I would think they could open up the entire Nutter Center and sell it out.
Well, I'll tell you,
That'd be great.
last time they were in town, they were in for heat.
They were in for the heat that nobody else in the country got to see.
Yeah, it was,
that pissed me off.
it did a bunch of us, believe me. I think I had somebody holding up my website for 2 hours in the front row for nothing.
That's all I got for you tonight.
Thanks, man.
Randy.
Thanks for calling, Randy.
Back to the phones and Masked Mark.
Masked Mark.
The Masked Mark.
That's mysterious.
That's me, from parts unknown, gentlemen, from parts unknown.
How are you?
Just fine, gentlemen. I know where your pizza is. I was cruising the AM dial, and I heard another talk radio host at a radio station over on Wilmington bragging, now this is no kidding, that he had your pizza.
Are you serious?
No, I'm serious. Right before you went on the air. So,
D.L. Stewart?
Yeah. He was bragging that they delivered your pizza over to that radio station.
That's it for him, man.
So, no, I'm serious. He was kind of gloating about it.
I'm going to call D.L. D.L. owes me a pizza.
Well, gentlemen, what I want to talk about is my favorite UCW personality, and that's the wife beater. I was cruising the internet the other night, and I saw a new promotion out of Philadelphia, and they headlined that one of their main attractions was going to be the wife beater, and I just wanted to know if he was going to leave UCW. I'll hang up and listen.
Okay. Well, I can tell you that right now Chris has no, and I talked to him last night for a while. Chris is not going to leave UCW. UCW has been good to Chris. He's an exciting performer in UCW. But Chris does work for a lot of other federations because UCW maybe doesn't have a show each week, so Chris takes that opportunity to go west. He'll go east. He's a young kid, and he likes to wrestle, so he's going to go where he can go to get on a card. Consequently, you may see Chris show up on any card within, I would say, 12 to 16 hours driving time of this Dayton area.
Well, you know, the one incident he got involved in which was featured on ABC, was out in Wisconsin. And one of the things about UCW, which I believe when we had Mooney or Independent Icon, whatever he calls himself, whenever he was on here, talked about was Unified Championship Wrestling. One of the things they want to do is, you know, anybody can come in that wants to come in, you know, with the proper approval, of course, by Raj and those guys.
Right.
But it's a unified front for independent wrestlers. So these guys aren't totally, they're committed to UCW, but it's like you said, because UCW doesn't run a show every week, these guys want to make a living, too, and get some experience. So they'll go to Indiana, Kentucky, Michigan, wherever they have to go to do a show.
And UCW has a core group, but some of the core group, even Raj himself and Mark, they do shows for other federations also at times.
You know, now Jobber's saying that he's willing to go over to Wilmington Pike and get our pizza back.
He better go.
You think we ought to send him over?
Yeah, well, who's going to produce for us?
I don't know.
We'll get it. D.L. Stewart owes us a pizza.
He does. So we'll
you
get on
owe
that
an
later.
apology.
To who?
What do you think?
To Dana?
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know if apology to Dana.
Well,
it's not Dana's fault. Dana.
You were just smacking on Dana.
I didn't smack on Dana. I said, I'm just wanting my pizza. That's all.
Oh, I'll tell you never apologize when you're wrong.
If Dana's upset, I'm sorry.
That's better.
Okay, how's that?
Okay.
Oh, wait. Jobber says the pizza guy just called. Is the pizza guy on the phone? Is he there?
Put him on.
No, he's not there. Did he hang up?
Tell you what,
Jobber, grab the mic. Turn on your mic. Are you there?
I'm here.
Okay. Call the pizza place. Get him on the phone.
Is the pizza guy upset?
No, he said what he did is he doesn't know which building we're in. He took it to the wrong studio, and he said he's sorry, and he's got 2 pizzas and pop on their way over here right now.
Oh, get Dana on the phone, because I think right now...
Dana, call back. It's not anything against Dana.
You owe him an apology.
I said, if Dana's upset, I'm sorry.
Okay.
How's that? It's not Dana's fault. Dana assigned somebody to do it.
You know what?
And
You're spending a lot of time on pizza tonight.
I'm hungry.
All right.
I haven't eaten, really.
Jobber, take care of it. Make sure they show you respect.
Thank you, Jobber.
All right, no
Thank
problem.
you, Dana. Thank you, Papa John's. God bless them. And D.L. Stewart, we'll talk.
Well, D.L.'s the one that owes us.
I think he does.
He does owe us.
I think D.L. and I'll have to talk. We'll do that. Let's go back to the phone and talk to Rose Lee. Rose, welcome to the Wrestling Guys.
Rose Lee.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Pretty good.
Good.
What's up?
I've got a question. What federation used to wrestle at Channel 2 in Dayton back in the late 60s?
I wasn't here, Marty.
Rose, I tell you what, hon, I was in Toledo. And I was watching Gordon Soley.
Oh, no.
I'll tell you what, that's a good question. When was it? During what time frame?
Late 60s?
Between early 60s and late 60s.
Okay. Maybe one of our listeners. We have a lot of great listeners out there that know the wrestling in this area pretty conducively, so maybe somebody can come up with an answer for us here.
Well, the reason I was asking is back then there was a wrestler named, his first name was John. He was from Canada. And I used to watch him on TV then. And when I joined the Navy in 71, I met him out in California in 72 at the arena out there. He was still wrestling. Him, Andre the Giant.
Big John Studd?
Yeah.
No.
No.
John Studd was an executioner then.
No. This guy, at that time, he was in his late 50s and still wrestling.
Was it John Tolos?
Yes.
Tolos?
You did good.
Tolos went out to San Francisco and feuded with Freddie Blassie for a while.
Yeah.
Don't know really what federation he was affiliated with the East Coast when around that time frame, but like Marty said, we've got a bunch of great listeners out there that know their history, and I'm sure somebody will call in with that answer.
Do you think is it the Love
Man?
Yeah, Love Man.
I don't think the Love Man knows that much, but he's a little bit. He's younger than I am.
So. Back in those days, the Love Man was a gleam at about 2 people's eyes.
But we'll see what happens.
Okay.
Thanks, Rose.
Thanks for calling.
All right, bye-bye. Let's go to West Carrollton and talk to Randy. Welcome to the Wrestling Guys.
Hey, how you guys doing tonight?
Doing good. How are you?
I'm surviving again.
That's the important thing.
Yeah, always. Do you know anything about who this guy is that's playing the piano on Nitro or whatever?
Lanny Poffo.
He looks a little different than what he did last time.
At least that's who we've heard it was, and Marty and I were talking. Lanny Poffo has actually been kind of how screwed up WCW is in certain aspects. He has been on the payroll for World Championship Wrestling for about the last year and a half, making about $75,000 a year for doing nothing.
Oh, my God.
And it's funny you mention it. We were just talking about it before the show because they really had no gimmick for him. And, but they wanted the rights. And that's what else I heard. I was going to tell you.
What?
He sold the rights because his name was Gorgeous George III.
Gave it to Savage's
Girlfriend. $35,000.
Is that how much?
Yes.
Wow.
He sold the rights to that to Savage's Girlfriend for $35,000.
My God, and they wonder why their ratings are going straight to hell.
No doubt about it. But that's who we understand it is.
It looked like that guy Billy Joe Travis from USWA. That's what it looked like.
We heard originally it was Lanny Poffo, but with the way WCW runs, they could change it by next week. Who knows?
Who knows? Well, thanks, guys.
Hey, thanks for calling, Randy.
Thanks for giving us the call. 457-WING. And now we have Josh on the phone, and Josh used to work with Dana and wants to speak out on his behalf.
Go ahead, Josh.
Go ahead, Josh.
How you guys doing, man?
Good. Turn the radio down, okay?
I'm at work. That's not my call. Hold on a second.
What's up?
Where do you work at?
I work at Pizza Hut.
Oh, geez. It's bad on the pizza houses.
No, man, it's not Dana's fault. He's a day driver. He didn't work at night.
You know what? And I said I don't blame Dana for this. I really don't.
The
I just
one thing you want to thank him for is that he's the one that turned me on to you guys. So.
Hey, there you go, man.
Dana's good. I actually talked to Dana.
Dave Blanco and Nick Bull especially, Ultrasound, Piggyback Promotions, Remote Recording Services, and the entire production tonight under the supervision of Dan Healy. Now, a word from our sponsors.
Patrick.
I had to. He walked right into it, though. I'm sorry.
Well, you should.
I apologize.
First, he's cracking on Dana.
I didn't crack. I defended Dana.
Now Patrick's here, and you're giving Patrick a hard time. All Patrick's trying to do is deliver pizza.
Thank you very much, Patrick.
Thanks, Patrick.
Seriously, thank you very much.
Here, Patrick. Here's a tip too, man.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. Now everybody, I'm sure, is tuned into this fascinating radio of Marty and Shawn getting pizza. Of course, right?
Absolutely, and it's live with Patrick.
There we go. Let's go back to the phone lines. Thank you, Patrick, and talk to Colin in Beaver Creek. Colin, welcome to the Wrestling Guys.
Hey, how you guys doing?
How's it going, Colin?
Yeah, I didn't see Nitro 2 weeks ago, but I saw it last week, and I saw them. There's a part where it showed Macho Man in the back. What was going on there? I kind of missed that.
You mean 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, they're showing clips from 2 weeks ago.
Supposedly, with Macho being in Hogan's dressing room, it kind of gives the assumption that maybe Hollywood or Hulk Hogan is not truly red and yellow, not truly a good guy. So, unfortunately, it's just a bad way to be played out.
All right, do you know what they're going to do with Savage soon? Because I haven't seen him for a few weeks, and I think he's actually probably one of the only old guys that can still wrestle in there.
He's coming back. He's been pretty upset lately, and there's been a lot going on behind the scenes. You've been reporting on it on the hotline.
Yeah, Savage, from what we could figure out, was upset over the direction of his character and after the Road Wild match against Dennis Rodman.
Yeah, you shouldn't put someone as good as Macho Man against Dennis Rodman. That's just not fair to him.
Well, give WCW some credit. That match actually wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
But Savage was upset over the direction and went AWOL from the company. And some of the guys in the back were upset because when he came back, he really wasn't punished at all. And he still isn't really happy with his direction right now in WCW, and he's kind of coming and going when he pleases.
Nobody's happy. Hulk's not happy because he's not the big baby face. Everybody's crying. Conan's not happy because Bischoff's on his butt every week. Nobody likes Conan because Conan didn't stand up for his rights. Jesus Christ. Rey Mysterio changed his hair color because he didn't like it the other way, and now it's blonde.
Yeah, you work on me bashing WCW. You're doing a good job right there.
Sorry, I
That's why I agree with you guys are saying that they need to get that storyline guy back. Is it Scott Sullivan?
Kevin Sullivan.
Kevin Sullivan, Terry Taylor.
And there's talk that Eric Bischoff right now is considering getting some more story writers in there to create some new and fresh ideas for World Championship Wrestling.
Yeah. All right, one more quick question. Are you guys going to be at that Heartland Wrestling on Saturday?
Yes, we will. It's a week from this Saturday, 8 o'clock, down at the Sportstown Center in Centerville, and Marty and I will both be there.
All right, I'll be there.
All right, look forward to it.
Seeing you.
See you.
Thank you. And now, this should be a good call. We're going out to Oakwood. And we're going to talk to the Rat.
What's up, guys?
The Rat.
Rat, what's happening,
How's
Rat?
it going? I'm a first-time caller.
Great.
Hey.
How you doing?
Thanks for calling.
All right, I got two quick questions. They're both WWF related, so you guys ought to like them.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, for the first question, I'm a big X-Pac fan, and I want to know what's going on with him right now. I really like him and Kane as tag team partners.
Well, what happened this past Monday night with X-Pac on Raw, the reason you didn't see him come out was really he had nothing to do.
Storyline got switched up.
He
didn't fit in it. He was backstage.
Right.
But they ended up holding him back because he didn't fit in the way the stories were going following the next
because
couple
they
weeks.
almost give you like this little inkling that he might turn heel.
I think they're hinting at that you're going to see him and Kane break up, and I think that's going to be played out a little more on SmackDown this Thursday. But, yeah, like Marty said, X-Pac was backstage Monday night for Raw, but now with the direction that they're going to put not X-Pac, but Kane and The Undertaker and The Big Show now in this main event title match at the Unforgiven pay-per-view, X-Pac really didn't fit into the direction they were going for this past show.
Yeah. Okay, my other quick question is about the Dudleys.
Yeah.
Is it really necessary for for Bubba Ray to like backstep like 2 years and start stuttering again?
Well, you know who really likes that idea, who that came from?
Who?
Vince McMahon.
Really?
Because Vince says that he loved it when Bubba did the stuttering gimmick, and what he said was a lot of people that watch the World Wrestling Federation may not have ever seen the Dudleys, and he thought that was just such a great thing that Bubba did that he's bringing it back.
Okay, cool.
All right?
All right, it was good talking to you guys.
Thank you,
Thanks
and
for calling.
make sure you call back.
Hey, take it easy.
Thank you, Rat.
One of the things that Vince gets involved in that you wouldn't really think are gimmicks like that, I know Al with Pepper, Vince had personal involvement with that. A lot of those, like the stuttering and some of the other things, he really enjoys the entertainment aspect, and those entertainment portions of it he likes to get more involved with than maybe some of the pure wrestling that goes on, storylines.
Vince's hand touches everything in that company, whether it be the merchandising, the storylines, the magazines. He is hands-on pretty much with everything. Is that from what you've heard, I believe, too?
Absolutely. The guy's he's tremendous, does a nice job, and all you can do is give him accolades right now because he's the man in charge and the man in top.
And you know it's killing him not being on TV. Oh. Because, and what I found out, too, I heard this past week, he could actually show up on TV if he wants to. But the problem is you can't put over your own company.
Right.
And so that's what's holding him back, is if he was to appear on TV, the way his persona is, he has to put over the World Wrestling Federation. So you can't blame him.
Good place for him.
And let's go back to the phone lines and talk to Mark. Welcome to the Wrestling Guys.
Good evening, gentlemen. I have been following wrestling since 1964.
Okay.
That's a long time for me.
Very long time for anybody.
Since the days of the late Bobby Shane.
Whoa.
Now that tells you how long it's been.
Digging out some names here.
I'm telling you. Well, okay, the wrestling in the late 60s came out of the Channel 16. Remember public TV, Channel 16 used to be a independent station.
Okay.
And they had wrestling people. And believe it or not, one of the announcers became the Grand Wizard of Wrestling.
Really? He came out of that?
Ernie Roth became the Grand Wizard of Wrestling.
Okay.
Of WWF.
Was Tolos in this?
Tolos was up in the Detroit area a lot. And he also, along with the Bobo Brazil and that. See, there was...
Was that WWA?
Yeah, WWA, and they were part of the NWA at the time.
Right.
Okay. They recognized Dory Funk Jr. as the champion.
And that's what was aired here locally?
Yeah, a lot of it aired here locally, yeah. Because, remember, WWF was strictly Northeast,
right.
AWA was strictly Midwest.
Well, that was the time of territory, so...
Yeah, that was a territory time at the time. Well, excuse my language, but it was a territory thing, yeah, at the time. But I've been following... See, the problem is, what you need to do, if you mind me giving a comment, I work second shift. And it's hard for me to record things when you have a wife that doesn't want to do anything. That's number one.
I hope she's not listening.
I don't care if she does or not, but I need the wife beer. Where's the wife beer when you...
Oh, yeah. Anyway.
But you need to have the results, if you could, every now and then, of like Raw or Nitro or the highlights or something like that. You might think I'm crazy on that, but...
No, not at all. One thing that we talked about in the hotline, and I kind of gave a poll out there, was if you wanted the results for like the shows that have been taped, like SmackDown and things of that sort, and everybody unanimously said they do. So if you call our Wrestling Guys hotline at 285-0991, at the end of the news report, I'll give a warning for anybody that doesn't want the spoilers, and then I will give the results for those. Giving the results of Nitro and Raw hasn't been something I really considered, but, I may give the highlights now. That's a good idea.
What you need to do, too, is maybe get an 800 number, 1-800-PUPPIES.
That's probably already taken.
I think maybe Deborah already has that.
Well, that's all right. Well, get St. Bernard's or something then. All right. Well, have a nice evening, gentlemen.
Hey, thanks for calling.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
And we're going to stay in Kettering and talk to Paul. Paul, welcome to the show.
Hello?
Hey, how you doing?
How's it going, Paul?
Good. I was just wondering, I heard about Shane Douglas saying that if him and Ric Flair fought on Nitro, that their ratings would do better than Raw's.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about that? You think that's really true?
I think given the right push.
Yeah, you can't just... If Ric Flair was to come back next week and take on Shane just unannounced, I don't think that it would do anything. I think WCW would have to create a backstory and explain to the non-internet fan why there was friction between Shane Douglas and Ric Flair, and explain it in detail, and then set up a jumping or a face-to-face confrontation and push that match. Ric Flair, when he's in the company, does the highest quarter hours for that federation still.
I think it would be. If they showed some old clips, really built this thing up, because like you said, a lot of people really don't know that there is real, legitimate heat between the two of them, and it's a great time to do it right now with Flair off. That would push it into a situation where if Flair did come back, he had to come back under a position of some type of a gimmick with Shane Douglas.
I don't think he would. I think one of the reasons Ric Flair is staying away is not. I don't think Ric Flair's necessarily is scared of Shane Douglas, but he doesn't want to put Shane Douglas over.
Pittsburgh plunging.
He doesn't want the plunge. Is that it, Paul?
Yep.
All right.
Thanks for calling, Paul.
Thanks for the call. Hold off on the break. We're going to go back to the phone and talk to Dana. He's on the phone. Dana, welcome to the show.
Hey, guys.
How you doing?
Pretty good. How are you guys doing?
Good, Dana.
The pizza, the Papa John's is good. Thank you.
I'm glad to hear that. I realized at the beginning of the show that I sent it to the wrong place.
That's okay.
D.L. Stewart owes us now.
D.L. Stewart owes us a pizza. That's okay.
That's
cool. If D.L. Stewart, what he should have done is said, you know what, I appreciate this, but it's not my pizza.
Yeah, if he had any class, he would have called over here.
I think D.L. has class. Maybe he was hungry, too.
Well, not when it comes to pizza. People lose perspective.
But hopefully,
when it comes to pizza.
I would hope for your sake, Dana, that D.L. gave a proper plug to Papa John's.
I hope so, too. I haven't had a chance to heard it all. My daughter has had soccer pictures today, and I'm out here on Valley Street right now at a phone booth. Trying to get a hold of you guys. I've been shoving nickels into this machine, and let me tell you what, it did not take them.
Well, I'll tell you what, your competition talked about you tonight.
And they were very complimentary about you.
I was at the phone booth, and I heard Josh call in. Josh is a good friend of mine, and I see he was taking up for me.
Well, Dana, give us the plug for Papa John's, the phone number, what special that you're running, the address, everything right now.
Let's hear it, baby.
It's yours.
Okay.
Papa be nice
John's in Dorothy and Wilmington and Kettering. The number 2 or Papa. Right now we're running a Papa's Choice, large up to 5 toppings for $10.99. I can deliver that hot and fresh to you within 30 minutes anywhere in Kettering.
And I'll tell you what, listen, because we may do something with them where if you buy a pizza, you get a free wrestling ticket or something.
Hey, that sounds great.
We could do something like that.
We may pull something off and do some type of a deal with Papa John's.
But I think you need to put more of this dipping garlic butter in there. That stuff is too good, man.
Well, you're not supposed to drink it. He pops it open, he drinks it. Doesn't show you any respect. I stood up for you, Dana.
Hey, I appreciate that.
Hey, Dana, thanks a lot for the pizza, and thanks a lot for the phone call.
Hey, thanks a lot, you guys. I appreciate it.
All right, man. Go Papa John's.
Thank you, sir.
Bye-bye.
And again, that number, 294-7272. Papa. That's a very cool number. Wonder how they did that.
Look, I'll tell you what, man. Looks like the Jobber's taking control. He's giving us our cue.
Well, Jobber wants the pizza, so he's wanting to get in here.
Is that what he's
cutting us for a break. Give us a call, 457-WING. You've got Marty Adams and Shawn Stidham. It's the Wrestling Guys.
You're listening to...
Well, you're listening to the man with the golden voice and the platinum tongue, the quintessential stud muffin Joel Gertner. And I'm on the Wrestling Guys with Marty. Look in my pants and you'll find the Party Adams. And Shawn, those girls over there, I just did them on 1410 Wing. So keep listening and have yourself an eargasm.
Back here on the Wrestling Guys on Dayton's first 1410 WING. You've got Marty Adams along with Shawn Stidham. You having fun over there?
And I'll tell you what, on the Z right now, the Valley View Spartans are in the house, baby, and they were doing some cheers, and it was live.
And Jobber was very happy about that.
Jobber was happy. Yes, he was. Show the Jobber respect, too.
Show the Jobber some respect, please, too. A couple other quick tidbits we want to throw out there. WCW, of course, released a lot of wrestlers over the last week. Super Callow, Damien, those guys supposedly got punished for working in Tijuana. Eric Bischoff wasn't too happy about that.
You know you can get anything you want in Tijuana.
Mikey Whipwreck was released, and that was interesting.
That was interesting.
Mikey gets signed in January, doesn't wrestle for 5 months, does a total of about 24 matches for the company, and then gets released. So he is...
Did you hear a rumor where Kevin Nash didn't even know who he was?
That is actually true. Mikey showed up backstage like 3 months into his deal, and Nash was like, who are you? Nobody knew.
I'm booking. How could you be wrestling?
And he was on, I can't remember which pay-per-view Mikey wrestled on, but just an outstanding match, and I can't remember what exactly pay-per-view that was.
Paulie should be able to pick him up cheap.
He's a former ECW champion, so
absolutely.
He should be back in there. Also, Chastity announced on her website that she will be released from her contract at the end of December. I think she'll go back to her film career.
I don't think so.
You think so?
Well, I don't know. You're not supposed to talk about that. God, I don't know how you always turn this program.
That took you a second to get out.
Because I'm unprepared for those types of statements.
I'm sorry.
It's a family-oriented wrestling hour.
You know, you see, you just ruined it right there. I didn't say what kind of film.
No,
You're
but
the one
you
that
know what you were thinking. Your eyebrows were raised. You had your perverted look on your face.
What was that, Live Wire or not Live Wire?
I don't want to. Let's
Live
move on.
Bait, I think it was. Let's go back to the phone lines and talk to Mike. Welcome to the Wrestling Guys.
Hi, how you doing?
How's it going, Mike?
Hey, I like to see a live bait too myself.
Thanks, Mike. Just join right in with him, man. Go ahead, fuel the fire, man.
Anyway, I just want to know if Tommy Dreamer is going to come back wrestling again, like full-time or just part-time right now.
Well, what you got right now with him and Raven as the ECW Tag Team Champions, both of those guys are hurt. Tommy's got some herniated discs. It's a real possibility that he will have to retire because of it. Raven has a torn rotator cuff, so any wrestling you're going to see from them is going to be very limited, I do believe. And you're probably not going to see them hold on to the tag team belts for too long.
You'll see Francine doing more wrestling than those two will right now. And, I mean, that's not a knock on them, but I just, you know, both guys are hurt. I think it's a great storyline, a great way to bring Raven back into the company and to let the Dudleys make their exit. But, you know, just tough, man. And anybody out there that's had any type of a back injury, they know the type of pain that Tommy's in, and he is in some pain.
Yeah, that's too bad about him, man, but I thought that he was, you know, like a real great performer.
Oh, he's great.
No doubt about it.
One of the toughest guys in the business, no question about it. Thanks for the call, Mike.
Okay, thanks.
All right. Going up to Xenia to talk to Daryl. Welcome to the Wrestling Guys.
Daryl, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
How's it going?
I'm fine. I've got a couple of quick questions. First, is there any chance that we'll see Austin go heel? I hope so.
That you'll see Steve Austin go heel? I don't know. There was talk that was baited around the whole higher power possibility, but the reason that they didn't was that they were afraid it was going to affect some merchandising sales. But I think it's not out of the question that Austin could go heel in some form or fashion. But I think if he were to go heel, that you wouldn't see him stay that way very long.
What about The Rock or Kane? What's going on with them? Is Kane going to be back with The Undertaker, or is this just like a tease?
Who knows?
Yeah, it looks like a tease, but you know, WWF, one great thing about them, they're great with the swerve.
Yeah.
They'll make you think something's coming down the line, and then all of a sudden,
but don't you almost think now, if this is actually a word, they're over-swerving, that they swerve too much? I mean, that's the one thing. Yeah, I mean, it just doesn't seem, because The Rock has bounced between face and heel now, what, 3 or 4 times?
He can be what he wants to be. He's the most electrifying man in sports entertainment today.
Okay, yeah. Anyway.
And the Big Red Machine is the Big Red Machine.
That's a very prolific statement.
Also, like, the last question I have is, like, well, I'm about to probably start writing, like, a wrestling column for, like, my newspaper. Well, I go to Central State, by the way. And I was wondering if y'all could give me some pointers on, like, you know, how you go about, like, reporting news. And how do you, I mean, is it, like, illegal just, like, maybe report some news on the internet? Or just give me some different, you know, things like that?
How to report news. There's actually,
well, you're an articulate guy. I mean,
yeah.
Let's face it, you can report the news that you read on the internet. The main thing is verification that what you are reading is indeed factual.
I mean, yeah, because every day on the internet somebody posts that, you know, Steve Austin's dead, or, you know, stuff like that. And for some people, they've just simply grabbed it and ran with it, and, you know, they get burned in the end. You have to, number one, if you are going to report something that somebody else writes, give them credit for it.
Or discredit if it's...
Or discredit if it's something like that. You have to... You can't burn your contacts. There have been times when Marty and I have known about stories and have kept quiet because you have to make those friendships and you have to give them... You have to have a trust there. You know what I mean? And once in a while, they'll want something out there, and they will tell you, you know, we want to throw this out. And you take a perfect example is Raven and Tom Misnick. Raven wanted out of WCW, went to Tom Misnick, gave the interview, was very open and very candid about his feelings about the company, and soon after that, Eric Bischoff let him out of the company.
And let me give you a tip. If you want to go to www.TWNP.com, look for a guy on there by the name of B.J. Bethel, young guy right here in this area. does a lot of different reporting, does a great job. Tell him the wrestling guy sent you. He'll be able to help you along. That's correct. BJ Bethel.
Okay, thanks, guys.
All right,
no
man.
problem. Good luck.
Thanks for
If
calling.
you get that newspaper, make sure you send us one, okay?
Okay, thanks.
Please do. Go back to Troy and talk to Andy. Welcome to the show.
Hello?
How's it going, Andy?
It's going fine. I have a question for you. Are you guys going to be giving away any tickets to that wrestling event, WWF, for like trivia question or anything?
We might do that.
Probably. He usually gives us, their publicist area usually gives us some tickets, so I'm sure we'll be giving away some. Probably be a little closer to the event, probably within, the last 2 weeks or so.
Okay, one more thing.
Yeah.
I did not like WCW this week.
Well, you and about 7 million other people.
Well, I didn't like the storyline between the Revolution, the First Family, and the West Texas Rednecks.
Well,
I thought that was pretty stupid.
Here's what should happen in theory, and this is only in theory. If, 8 million people, 9 million people watch wrestling every Monday night, if one of these guys run a pose, they should draw a 7.0, 8.0, 9.0 rating.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah.
WCW gets a 4.1. They gained maybe 1% of that audience or whatever, but
Just doesn't happen. There's just not enough interest there, and they're not doing the right things to attract that much more interest.
You know what I was thinking? I was thinking since they had the time range all by themselves, and then WWF coming on afterwards, I thought they would have like a big special thing, like big matches and all that stuff. See, that's one of the main reasons why I don't like WCW is because they don't have no big matches there, really.
Right.
Absolutely. We agree with you, buddy.
Okay, and that's it.
All right. Hey, thanks for calling the wrestling
Thank you,
guys.
Andy.
Okay, thanks. Bye.
One thing we want to talk about right now, and I kind of mentioned it on the hotline the other day, is the situation with Mark Curtis, who, real name?
Brian Hildebrand.
Brian has been fighting cancer for about the last year and a half, and when we saw him at the Pillman show, he was probably, 95 pounds or so.
Right, and then he rebounded for his own benefit show in Pittsburgh, which we attended.
And I guess over the weekend, he refereed at an independent show and afterwards fell ill and kind of went on a little bit of a downward spiral since then.
If both shows, I know Mankind, Mick Foley said something on the WWF show,
right.
And somebody on WCW also.
Shivani made a mention of it.
Correct.
Total class by both of those guys. But, we don't like to get overly sappy on the show or whatever, but, whoever you talk to or whatever you're thinking, make a little note, say something for Brian Hildebrand, because his family's going through a lot right now.
And I'll tell you what, it's not looking good. I know some people that talked to his wife earlier today, and he's just barely holding his own. He's basically unconscious.
Well, the one thing that he was like this once before and managed to come back, which was, amazing.
Unbelievable.
And, and I've mentioned many times on this show and talking to people in person, when we were at the Brian Pillman Memorial Show this past May, you had the top legends and stars of this business. Ric Flair, Mick Foley, Ricky Steamboat, Terry Taylor, the Road Dogg, Al, K-Dog, Rey Mysterio Jr., the list goes on and on and on. And the biggest ovation of the night, by far, went to Brian Hildebrand after the great tribute that Les Thatcher paid him in the ring, and absolutely deserved every bit of applause he got. He's been in this business for a long, long time. I know he's a real good friend of Arn Anderson. If you get a chance to read Arn Anderson's biography, Behind the Curtain, he does a great job at telling some of the old stories about him and Brian on the road and such. And
all we're saying is, say a prayer, because the guy went through an unbelievable amount of, just an unbelievable time, and we're happy that he's still here, and we want to keep him around as long as we can. All right, enough for that. HWA coming on the 18th.
HWA coming a week from this Saturday, the 18th at Centerville, the Sportstown Athletic Center. A lot of different wrestlers.
7-8 minutes from Classic Card, 7-8 minutes from the Dayton Mall. Todd Morton, Cody Hawk, Logan Kane, a Rapid Delivery, Roy Fox from MTV, Bull Payne. There's going to be just a tremendous amount of stars there. Tickets are on sale at Classic Cards and Collectibles, or they're on sale at Sportstown. You can save a couple bucks by buying them in advance.
And if you want to get the daily news update, again, call the Wrestling Guys hotline, and that number is 285-0991. And another week is over, and Marty Adams, I'm Shawn Stidham. Thanks for listening to The Wrestling Guys.
And you have it. Good night, Dayton.
Justice Department.
Work.